All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it's to do the player ratings. Arsenal versus Wolves that took place yesterday. And it wasn't a good match, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. And don't get me wrong, I understand, there's an overriding, there's kind of two schools of thought that's going on in the Arsenal fan base at the moment. You are getting fans that are overreacting, that are kind of like all doom and gloom, like, oh, this is how I know we're still shit. It's going to take us years and years and years before we shift that kind of Wengerisms out of the club. We'll do well to finish 5th this season, 6th this season, and all that kind of malarkey. And then you have the other end of the scale, who ironically that end of the scale is ironically the positive side. And I say ironically because this time last year, they were probably the most negative part. But you have the other end of the scale of people kind of saying, oh, what's everyone overreacting for? Emre is 6 months into the job. Everybody just calm down. We didn't lose. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Where do I fall? I fall somewhere in the middle. For me, and gosh, that sounds like a real fence-sitting answer. I hate fence-sitting. But I think it's true. I think it's perfectly reasonable as an Arsenal fan to be upset that we didn't beat a promoted side at home. Not only didn't beat them, but also, let's be real here, were completely outplayed by them. Completely outplayed by them. There was a distinct difference between the 1-1 against Liverpool and the 1-1 we got yesterday. So I think it's reasonable to be upset. Where I agree with people like Lee, though, is where I think people are going too over the top about it. I think people started getting gassed because we won a number of games in a row. And now that we've drawn the last 3, people are like, oh, gosh, what's going to happen? Maybe we're not as good as we initially thought we were. Listen, we're about okay. We're doing all right. I think it's all about looking at things in terms of positives and negatives. I think there are a number of players who have improved. There are a couple who haven't. And I think Emre is starting to get the 30% that I kept banging on about last season. I think he's starting to get that out of that team. Nevertheless, when you change a team style, and this is what I tried to say to Sonny earlier, shout out to him. But Sonny was disgusted that I said that the even suggestion that the Arsenal players need to recharge in November. Of course they do. You got to bear in mind, these are players that are not used to high pressing style. They're not used to the intensity that Emre brings. So if you go from one style of management to another style of management, and that other style of management is more demanding, it expects more, it's physically more draining, they need those recharges. And because apparently if you play for Arsenal these days, you don't get called up to international squads, apart from if you're Leno. It gives them the opportunity to do that. I think personally, this international break has come at the absolute right time for these guys. I'm not overreacting. I am very disappointed about yesterday. And I think it's reasonable to be disappointed about yesterday. But I'm also not losing my head. I'm just putting it into perspective. I think it is disappointing that we can't be a side that were in the Championship last season. But at the same time, I understand that this Wolves side is a very good side for a Championship, supposed Championship caliber team. Their manager has an awesome beard. And, I actually think Wolves will be the side. They're going to be a decent side. I mean, I said it at the very start of the season. Out of all of the people who came up, I felt that going to Molineux will be the most difficult place to go to out of the 3 promoted sides. Now, I understand we didn't go to Molineux yesterday, but it just shows you that it isn't just the ground. This is a good outfit. I even said it, that, you know, they had a good start. In my preview, I said they had a good start to the season. They lost the last three, but that can happen to anyone. Just like we've drawn the last three, it can happen to anyone. So for me, I'm not overreacting. I think it does place a little more importance in beating Spurs. Listen, even if we had won the last three, I still want to beat these motherfuckers. So the way I see it is, now it gives it even more importance, and hopefully it can motivate the players to raise their game out of their slumps in order to beat Spurs. Which, again, before you say it, I understand Spurs is not next, but it's in the horizon. We've got Bournemouth to get out of the way, which in itself is not going to be an easy game. But anyway, let's go back to the player ratings. Straight up, I'm going to be nice and quick. I think this is going to be pretty self-explanatory because it weren't pretty yesterday. So let's just get to it. Bert Leno in goal, man of the match, which in itself tells you what the heck happened yesterday. 9 out of 10. Hector Bellerin, 6 out of 10. I thought he was probably the best out of the 4 defenders. Again, should tell you what kind of time it was yesterday. Mustafi, 4 out of 10. Was terrible, but weren't the worst player on the pitch. Holding, 4 out of 10. Was terrible, but not the worst player on the pitch. Kolasinac, however, was the worst player on the pitch. I don't know if he's still injured. I don't know what the heck. I don't know. To me, Ainsley Maitland-Niles would have done better yesterday. He actually would have. 2 out of 10. You're lucky. You get the two. You know what? 3 out of 10. My rule. You played the first half, you played the second half, and you showed up in the first place. That's what you get your 3 for. Torreira was the only other player who, especially outfield player, that I thought, okay, did something, really did something yesterday. 7 out of 10. Granit Xhaka, it's another one that's just in this Mustafi box. 5 out of 10. I actually disagree with some people. I actually thought he reacted well towards the back end of the second half after making his error, but he made the error. So 5 out of 10. Mesut Ozil, our supposed captain yesterday, went missing. Just straight up went missing. 4 out of 10. Because he was captain, so 4. Alex Iwobi, 5 out of 10. I didn't think he played well, but I also felt like taking him off at half time, he was the only one that was at least trying to drive the team on. So yeah, 5 out of 10. But I also don't think he plays very well on the right. I think his position is on the left. Speaking of our left winger, Aubameyang. Yeah, it weren't good. It weren't good. Dare I say, probably the worst performance I've seen him play in an Arsenal shirt. 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. As with Lacazette, I can't even really justify a 5. 4 out of 10 for Lacazette. Mkhitaryan, I know people are waiting for this one. I'll give him a 6. He got us the crucial goal back, even if, let's be real, it was a fluke. 6 out of 10. Ramsey ain't going to score. And Guendouzi, I actually thought, played okay. Played okay. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. That's pretty much it. Weren't good. And I know these marks aren't very high, but that was the sort of performance we had yesterday. So it kind of is what it is. You let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush, destroy, drop kick the shit out of that like button. I appreciate it when you guys do that. And I'm pretty much off for a break now. So that's enough of my ugly mug on this for a little while. So I'm off for a break. I'm going to enjoy the international break and just chill and not make a video for a little while. And then I'll be back next week to do a preview for the Bournemouth game. I'll have a couple of guests on for the preview. I'll even have a guest on for the review. This is how I treat you guys. I'm also working on a couple of special things for the North London derby that we got in the horizon too. So keep it locked. The best thing to do is to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll be warned every time I do a video. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So adios. Enjoy the international break. And I'll be back soon. Take care.